This is UTEL Concerts. This is UTEL Concerts. This is UTELConcerts.com.
Hi, Sonia.
Hi, Crystal.
You've had quite the year. Can you give us a little recap of what you've been up to?
Gosh, I could probably tell you better what I have not been up to. I mean, I've just been doing so much. I mean, gosh, I feel so very blessed. I was thinking about it the other day, just how much my life has just blossomed and everything has just kind of come together full circle, and how wonderful it feels to be around such great people and to do the things that I've done. I've gotten to, become friends with Kenny Chesney, and I met Alan Jackson and Randy Travis, and I got the respect of my music peers that I've looked up to my whole life. People telling me that they enjoy my music is probably one of the greatest honors. I got to play with Loretta Lynn, who has been a mentor, someone I've looked up to my whole entire life since I was 5. And just travel the country, that just goes on and on. I just can't even. I got my record out this year, my very first video, and it was on CMT, and I don't know. It's just been crazy, and I'm so incredibly over the moon.
What's the coolest place you've been to this year?
I have to say London. I got to go over and do a couple of shows in London earlier this month, and that was probably the coolest thing. But you know what? Actually, Red Rocks and the Gorge was so amazing. I mean, what an honor to be able to play such prestigious venues where everyone set foot and played, all the legends.
Is there a specific moment in 2011 that really sticks out in your mind as, wow, that was like the highlight of my year?
Meeting Loretta Lynn was definitely one of the highlights of my year, and also when I finally got to meet Eric Church, who I'll be doing some shows with in February of 2012. He actually had already listened to my music and told me that he really was a fan. That, and I met James Taylor, and he told me the same thing, and I was like, those are definite highlights. Getting to go to the CMT Awards and the CMA Awards and just get to meet some of my heroes has been amazing, and to be on tour with that. I don't know. I could tell you, it's all been so special. It's just, my mind's blown.
You've been writing music for a while now. Can you tell us a little bit about where you started and how you got to this point?
It started out with this a song in my heart. I always had something brewing inside and something to say and something to express. And I thank God that, my parents encouraged me musically and let me, kind of let that develop at a young age. And it just kind of really started with me, this sheer determination and relentlessness to pursue music as my path in life. How
did you meet Zach Brown and get that label deal?
He had a restaurant out in Edenton, Georgia, and I was playing out there. And we met and became fans of each other and friends. We hit it off as buddies, like right from the beginning. Our sense of humor is kind of in line. And, we just kind of became buddies. And then he started having his success. And he came to me and said he wanted to start a record label. He wanted me to be the first artist on there. And I said, absolutely. And it's been an amazing journey.
Well, your voice has a little bit of a rock and roll edge to it, and I wonder, have you always written and sang country music, or have you dabbled in other genres?
I write and sing all kinds of music. I'm inspired by all kinds of music. I just actually downloaded some old Italian sonnets the other day, and whatever moves me is what I get into, and when I'm writing, it's about where I'm at and what moment I'm in. So music is universal, and the categorization of it is just I don't pay attention to that, and I don't let it separate my interests.
Did it take a long time for you to develop your sound, and if so, who were some influences in that process?
Yeah, it's always developing as time passes. The more experience I get, and the more life shows me, the more I develop as an artist and as a person. And, growing up around, my dad playing and my grandfather playing old Hank Williams tunes definitely inspired me at a younger age to start playing country music. That was where I first started to learn the guitar on Hank Williams and Willie Nelson songs, And then later on, just kind of developed and started getting into all kinds of music.
The album is 1978 December, and it came out actually in September. You wrote all the songs on the album, right?
Yes, ma'am, and I co-wrote 2 songs with Zach Brown.
And is there an overall theme to the album?
I think that it's basically just a collection of music that I thought represented me as a writer, a little introduction to who I am and my versatility as a writer, and that's why I named the record 1978 December. It's kind of just saying, here I am, and I hope you like it.
I mean, you've been writing for over 10 years. Does the debut album include like all the best songs you've written over that time?
I've got a lot of material, and I think that me and Zach sat down and we thought about what would kind of go together the best. There's definitely, in my opinion, I think I've got a lot more to show and to offer. I can't wait for the next record, and we're just kicking off this one.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm definitely proud of all the material that's on there.
So you're not starting from scratch with the next album. You're probably going to go back in and either rework songs from your arsenal or, you have time to write new ones.
I really do have a large back catalog that I'm just ready to get out into the open, but in turn I'm still writing new material all the time, so it's going to be a toss-up. It's going to be really hard to figure out what we're going to do because I really want my other songs to see the light of day and to let them get out and be heard. So it might be probably a mixture of what's going on now and where I've been.
And which song means the most to you on 1978 December?
Ooh, that's a good question. Ooh, they're all my babies. They all mean different things to me and just as much individually. I really think that A Poem from the Ocean Floor is probably, to me, one of the pivotal points in my writing when I wrote that song. I think my writing switched gears into a more mature, from coming from another plane. I was in a friend's living room in the morning time, and it took about half an hour to write the song. And after I wrote it, I was like, whoa. I couldn't believe that I just read that. I mean, to me, it was very special, and I was very, very excited about it. And it became one of the songs that everybody sings along to, and I started to build my fan base on that song, when I was first starting to get some kind of exposure in Atlanta. And so I'm really proud of that song because I feel like that's one of my most creative songs that I've ever written.
We're a concert website. What's the best concert that you've ever been to as an audience member?
Oh, gosh.
It doesn't have to be the best one of all time. The most memorable one, I guess.
You know what? I'm at a tie because I will say Bruce Springsteen at Giant Stadium in New York. It was the last weekend. He did like a 4-day show for 4 days, and he played like for 3 or 4 hours every night in New York, and they were tearing down Giant Stadium. So, and it was so huge, and the crowd was, it was like being at church. I was touched to the core of my being. It was amazing.
And so tell us a little bit about what's coming up in the new year. I saw that you're playing a show with Willie Nelson.
Yeah, I can't believe that. I remember being 6 years old trying to learn to watch Cried in the Rain, failing miserably. I'm playing in my hometown with him, and we're excited about that. I hope I get to at least say hello to him, at least.
And then you're also going on tour with Brantley Gilbert and Eric Church?
Oh, yeah, and that right there that must be a gift from Santa Claus itself, because when I started getting into Eric Church, I was like, man, I just feel like our music and our writing is kind of aligned. We're kind of cut from the same cloth in my eyes. I feel like we're both kind of edgy and we would like to rock and roll, but we also have that tender place that we're coming from. And so I really have wanted to play with him for so long, and then when I got news that we were going to get to play with him and Brantley Gilboy, he's a rocker as well, and Renegades, and so I'm stoked. I don't even know what to say.
Thank you so much for spending some time with me, and congratulations on everything. And all the listeners can find out more about Sonia and her music at www.sonialeigh.com. So thanks again so much.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.